Doug Kenny here, everyone, from Relentless and Unstoppable, and I'm pleased and honored to welcome Angie Stimson to the channel. Hey, how you doing?
I'm very well, and it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much for having me back.
No problem. We're glad to have you back. So,
thank you.
Tell everybody what happened in February.
What happened in February? Oh, we met, and it was amazing. It was brilliant. I actually saw you in person, and you inspire me, and you're amazing. And it was just wonderful to meet you and your mum, who's lovely. Wow. And I got to see you. It was brilliant. And we met at a really cool place in Hollywood that I didn't even know existed. So that was amazing as well. You opened up my mind to that, because I think you can live in LA for so long and not even know that half of it, all of these little hidden pockets. And it's old Hollywood as well that we never really get to see. So thank you for that.
Yes,
that was brilliant.
Definitely. It was a lot of fun. And we also saw previous RNU guest Mark Fermi, along with a couple other people, and the amazing Steve Spiro.
He really is something else, isn't he? I think he's a genius, actually, even though he says he isn't. But there's somebody who's unstoppable, considering everything that he's been through. And now he's so kind. That's what I love about him, and gentle. And for kind of a rough, tough guy, he's got this lovely, gentle soul as well. So I just feel honored to know him. And I know he's performing in Edinburgh Festival this year. So I might pop over and surprise him. Just pop up in the audience on his first night.
That's in Scotland, right?
Scotland, yeah. And it's a festival that they have every year, and it's Fringe Theatre. But it's this huge festival with thousands of people there. So I know he's going to do really, really well, because he really is amazing.
Definitely.
I feel very lucky to know him.
I'm lucky to know him too. He's just a great guy.
The weird thing was that when I first moved out of Hollywood, I just popped into a boxing gym just on the off chance. He was standing there and we started chatting, and he went to my brother's school in England. And I just said, oh, I'm meant to be here then. I'm meant to be boxing. So he taught me boxing at the very beginning. So, and he didn't manage to put me off either.
That's really, really incredible. So tell everybody a bit of what you do for a living and what you've done since we last interviewed you.
Well, because of the pandemic, I stopped teaching boxing so much, but I would take people to the park and do routines in the park, boxing routines. To everybody in the park would stop and watch, because I'd make people do kind of very strange things with slam balls and boxing and just really fun stuff. Because I just had to improvise because we weren't in the gym. So it kind of took it in a different direction, which was wonderful, actually. So that was really good. And I was still doing my artwork, and it gave me time to really concentrate on that, because a lot of the times I'm really not well with epilepsy. And I have to kind of, my day, it's like when people see me out, what they're seeing is managed epilepsy. But for me to actually get out and be with people, people don't see what it took me to get there in the morning. And I'm so used to it that I forget that people don't know that I had to get up and arrange when I take my medication. Hopefully can get out before the medication kicks in, where I'm really dizzy. So when the pandemic was on, it meant that I didn't really have to go out, really. My brain is not working very well at the moment. I'm having little complex partial seizures when I'm talking to you, so I may stop in the middle of sentences. But what was wonderful, and I don't think I told you this last time, but my memory is really bad. So I had two pieces in a Netflix show. They were in an art gallery situation, and they chose two pieces of mine to be in the art gallery section of the show. And I thought they were just going to be in the background, but they became part of the narrative, which was wonderful. And it was just so wonderful to see them. And the woman who was saying that they were her paintings is meant to be this world-renowned artist. And she was talking about one of the paintings. She said, yes, I painted this. She was talking to her son. She said, it reminds me of hope. And I thought, well, the actuality of it is I did that painting on the back of an envelope with nail polish, laying on the floor because I just had a seizure. And then I got it through a lot of digital different ways. And it became this huge piece. So, which they then gave me, which was wonderful, these really nice pieces. But it was wonderful. And I just thought, from having a seizure on the floor to having it in a Netflix show, really took this amazing journey. It was brilliant. So I've been doing, the strange thing is I create my artwork when I'm not feeling well, because I'm trying to get out how I'm feeling, and because there's no words, there's no outward references in the world to how I'm feeling. That's how I can get it out in imagery. And I feel terrible for people that have epilepsy and they can't get it out in poetry or art, because I don't know how they cope with that, because you can't talk about it. And I know children, what I was reading is children find it very, very difficult to be able to tell their parents that they're not well because they can't really describe how they're feeling. So I've still been doing a lot of artwork, and weirdly enough, the worse I feel is the better my artwork is. But I do feel bad most of the time, so that's okay. So I've got 3 pieces coming up and shows this summer, well, in September, in Chicago, Boston, and in Costa Mesa. And then my work has been put forward to be up on the digital billboards up on Sunset, and probably in November, because that's Epilepsy Awareness Month. So they've chosen a film that I did of myself. I filmed myself having seizures over a week, and I made it into a short film. So I'm going to have to rework that, because there will be no sound up on Sunset, obviously. So I'm reworking it to have captions on it, which makes it into a completely different film, but it's a lovely project to work on. And I may link that to an Instagram account so people could go there and just listen to what's happening, because the words are very important and how I'm talking is very important. So that's kind of what's been going on. I'm still doing artwork pretty much every day. And it was just wonderful that it got picked up by Netflix. It was wonderful. So I feel very pleased with that.
That's incredible, Angie. And you said you're a former boxer?
Yes, a former boxer. And I loved it. And I was so bad at it because I'm not very, I don't have the ability to hurt somebody else. So I loved the boxing and I loved the science of it and the beauty of it. But when it actually came to the crux of it, of actually having to take someone down, I didn't have that in me. So the person I was boxing did. So that's why I didn't do very well, but I loved it so much. And I thought I'd like to teach that, because I broke my nose a couple of times and I was walking around with cracked ribs. And I thought, this is not good. And my neurologist said, this is the worst thing you could possibly do. But I just felt like I had to do it. There was something in me. And I think it was because when I was younger, I got epilepsy because my dad used to hit me. So I think possibly it was something to do with that. And also because my parents used to tell me I was very frail and I could be blown away in the wind. And well, they were very disparaging of everything. And what is strange is that I am adopted, and I've met my birth mother, who's wonderful. And then last year, kind of out of the blue, the Adoption Society got in touch with me and gave me some documents about my mother and where all of when I went to when she gave me up for adoption. So that was interesting. And I was telling her about where I was brought up. And she said, well, you know, you were always going to be the villain of the family. You would be the villain of the piece because of who you are. And I thought that makes absolute sense. And she was a psychologist as well. So she said, the dynamics of your family is that you were so different to them because you were inquisitive and intelligent and wanting to know stuff, and you weren't like them at all. So, and she just got it spot on, because I always felt like I wasn't, they just couldn't work me out at all. And their reaction to that was to be very, very violent towards me. So, and also, I know I had a lot of empathy with nature and the world and animals, a bit like Steve Spiro, actually, and they didn't. So I was always, we didn't understand really each other. So it was a bad fit, really.